EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present third round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is the third round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. So we're into the weekend, Frank, and just remind people what's at stake here.
Top 50 players are going to go forward and play the big tour, the PGA Tour, the chance to play in major championships, the chance to become a star of the future. And right now, Rich, there's just 36 holes separating them between now and their dream.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Frank, where has that been?
Yeah, thank God for small mercies.
Frank, what do you make of the par 5 second?
Doglegs to the left, so there's a decision to be made here all the time, but a good hooking tee shot. That takes the trees on the left out of play, and even the rough on the right. Good tee shot here. I've seen people get home with as little as a 5-iron.
Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, break down the par 3 third for us.
The big ridge in the middle of this green, really have a front section and a back section. That front bunker, the one that you first see off the tee, that really doesn't come into play. But there's a sneaky one behind the flag and down the left side. Really good par 3.
Missed that one, and it is going towards the rough. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. This requires a lot of speed through the ball. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a master class in short game.
Now a 7-footer. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This would give him a bogey. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Frank, the second here at the 4th is a dangerous shot.
Once again, this is another example of where you have to look at the green. Where exactly is the flag? If it's on that high portion, you've got to fly it all the way back.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
And he makes it for par. Let's get back to the action at the 5th. Frank, this would be a good time to get it going. Made some pars to this point, but if you want to win, you have to make birdies.
Rich, I think the thought of winning has to be removed from one's psyche right now. You've just got to worry about what's in front of you. He just looks confused. forgetting about playing the actual game itself. Winning happens by a series of good shots. It's get back to the basics of playing golf.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking him for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
No problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Hole number 6, I really like this hole, Frank. It's fun par 4.
Yeah, very claustrophobic tee shot, heading through that chute to the fairway. Starts to open up, and then it sort of shrinks in again because of all the palm trees around this green. But very short par 4, so if you're good with a wedge, good chance for 3.
Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot's caught those trees coming into this green.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Settles in over the putt. Well, you can see he's just disgusted with that effort. Frank's 7th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. How do you break this one down?
Not overly long, 440 yards, but once again, it's a tee shot. If you're driving the ball well, that's fine. You just sort of blister it down there, but you're starting to lose one a little bit to the right. There's 3 pot bunkers there, and of course, if you're fearful of it going left, there's the canal all the way down the left side that'll get your attention.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Get down. Lay down. Frank, as we watch the Web.com Tour Finals, anyone in particular you think could be a breakout star, someone like a Keegan Bradley who jumped right out onto the PGA Tour and won the PGA Championship in his first ever start in a major?
Well, this player that I'm looking at right now, yes, and I mean you out there. Look at that. A prodigy since the age of 2. A lot of people in the golf world have just been waiting for you to finally get to this point. And, well, time for me to watch, time for you to play. Even par, currently.
Well, too bad. He gives one back. Frank, this is a hole that I really like. The 8th, 237-yard par 3, just a necklace of bunkers surrounding the green. What's the best approach?
You come out through that chute or that hallway of trees there, and this being the longest of the 4 par 3s at TPC Sawgrass, the green actually plays much smaller than what it looks because of that narrow entry.
Pretty good shot right there.
Same snack, though.
Come on, you have to make that, don't you? Drop shot here at the 8th. This for him would be one drop shot. Call in the medics, Frank. Can't stop the bleeding here.
Just racking the bogeys up.
Frank, I think this is one of the most fascinating holes on the golf course. The 583-yard par 5 ninth hole.
With technology now, a lot more players can reach this par 5 and 2. Gone are the days where it was a true three-shotter, but I remember when Sergio Garcia hit that 3-wood from, what was it, 270, 280 yards? Still one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble. That's an absolute beauty.
Now the third shot here at the ninth, Frank.
Another very narrow green, not that dissimilar to the first hole. There's a high portion on the left and a low portion on the right.
Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in. Locked in on the read and the speed. Mark that as a birdie on the card. Now on to one of the most exciting back nines in golf here at the TPC Sawgrass and the Stadium course. Let's begin at number 10, Frank, and what do you make of this hole?
It's another one where you're just trying to fit the tee shot in the fairway there. It's not a driver, just something that stays right. And of course, we've seen a lot of people stray here down the left side. Who can forget Mickelson when he won his Players Championship, hitting that phenomenal 7-iron out of the fairway bunker through the trees and still finding the putting surface. But speaking of the putting surface, this green has more undulations than just about any green on the golf course.
Down, little Sheba, down! Just averted danger right there, so close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Trying to make yet another birdie. Hit it. And he's putting for par now. He's made it. Let's go to the 11th. Now it's a par 5 and a fun hole, Frank. You can make anything from 3 to 7 here.
And that's why as the start of the back nine, especially on a Sunday, this becomes such a pivotal hole to start a run. Big body of sand down the left side that sometimes the longer hitters can get close to with the tee shot, but really it's the second shot. If you can reach this par 5 and 2, it's a very narrow green. The layup, well, it's actually an awkward layup, Rich, because you've got to push that ball to the left side, almost like a zigzag approach.
All right, Frank, the 11th is a reachable. What's the right strategy?
Well, it feels like that green should be about another 30 or 40 yards to the right, Rich. Makes the player aim left. It's such a narrow green, but it's worth the risk.
Coming off a bogey here yesterday, chance to make it right. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Little redemption chance here, had bogey yesterday. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Up to the 12th, Frank, and a good birdie chance here.
Yeah, good old links, short par 4. This green really divides itself into about 3 sections. There's a little piece to the right, piece short left, and the one at back left. So as long as you know where the flag is, just push that ball into the section where it is. You get up there, you're only going to have 10 or 15 feet left for birdie.
Now the approach to the 12th, Frank. What's the player looking at?
Well, it's a fun shot here for the second shot, especially if you've driven it down the right side, because then you can see the flag no matter where it is on the green.
He'll be pretty happy with that one, about 20 feet away in a good spot. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Very well done, almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. Hole number 13 here at Sawgrass. Tricky 181-yard par 3.
You don't have to hit directly at this flag. When that flag's at the back there, you can use the contours. When it's on the left, once again, you can use the ridge in the middle of the green. Matter of fact, one of the hardest hole locations is when it's in the front right, because that's when you have to be perfect.
On the green in regulation. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, historically in this great championship, 14 has proven to be a pivotal hole.
Everybody focuses on the finish here, but you're absolutely right, Rich. This can be an absolute scorecard wrecker, because if you spin your drive left, the drop back, perhaps on the ladies' tees, you can make 6 in a heartbeat. You try and air to the right, you can make 6 from the mounds. So a good drive down 14 gives you a chance for that fast finish.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
You really have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Ooh, good effort right there. Almost made it. Just a tap in to finish the hole. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Frank, the 15th hole certainly has the respect of the professionals.
But you're right. This is a positional hole where just keep the ball down the left center. You can't go too far, though, because you'll get blocked out or you'll run out of fairway. From there, it's really about knowing where the flag is, what position on the screen, because this is another green that's not flat. If the second shot lands on the wrong portion of the green, it'll finish well away from the hole.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
He'll need to be strong with this.
I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. That's good work. That's good par right there. Frank, fans watching, they love excitement in the game. 16's an exciting hole, isn't it?
Well, that's where you get it, because you hear the roars. You start to see the big crowds that go all the way around 16, 17, and 18T. You feel where you are in the tournament, too. A movement that starts at 16 can be carried all the way to the clubhouse.
Now the second shot to the par 5.
Hazard.
Maybe wet. In the thick stuff.
Thick. It's brutal out there.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. Frank, I thought that was in. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Settles in over the putt. Good putt. Frank, how early in the round are you thinking about the shot at 17?
Well, when you're playing well, you're pushing it ahead. Maybe you don't think about it till 14 or 15. If you're struggling, you might be thinking it early as the 5th or the 6th hole. But put it this way, when you make the walk from 16 to 17, you are thinking of it every inch of the way.
Not a gimme, but well within his range.
Just when you think you're going to make birdie. Now, have to really concentrate on this and at least make par.
sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Seems to really have the touch today. Through the years, Frank, there have been 6 aces here at 17.
But it's hard to imagine that the last one was back in 2002 by none other than the most interesting man in the game and probably the most interesting par 3 in the game.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Frank, it's all about focus and positive imagery, isn't it, here on this approach shot at the 18th?
You have to be precise with your target here. You can't be looking left at the water or mounds on the right. Plus, there's all the mounding on the screen. So, in the end, look at the flag, aim at the flag, go there.
Frank, where has that been?
Yeah, thank God for small mercies.
Day 3, and what a tournament this is shaping up to be, Frank.
Quite simply, great weather, great golf, great fans, which is the perfect mix for a golfer trying to win a tournament. The final round, if this is anything to go by, has to just be sensational.